is Hugh StarCraft here with my friend NS, and we are casting an epic game, not just an epic game, League of Legends. It is not StarCraft, and it's not WoW, so it's new stuff for this channel. But before we get too far, I'm going to let NS say a couple words.
Hey guys, it's NS. As Hugh mentioned, this is a game that we have played, but we have never cast before, so this is a little bit of something new. This game is basically a DotA clone. If anybody played that old Warcraft 3 mod, it was made by the exact same people. It's really just a reskin of DotA, but it's a really fun game, and we're going to be casting this. Few things I'll mention ahead of time. First of all, this game for some reason does not have a replay feature in it yet, which is a little bit problematic, so we actually had to record this while playing, and we're now casting the recording. So unfortunately we're not going to be able to scoot all over the map and stuff like we can in a normal replay. It's going to be locked to my point of view because I was the one recording it, so that is going to be a bit of a downside to it. And additionally, we know that a lot of you might not necessarily know this game, and it's not what you necessarily came to the channel for to begin with, so we're going to be trying to explain this game as we go along, explain kind of the finer points and really what you need to be doing in the game. It does appear that the game is actually paused right now, so I'm just going to... No? Is it going? Oh yeah, sorry, this loading screen is taking forever. Some of the people in this game were lagging out rather badly, so... We're just going to talk a little bit, try to fill the loading screen. The game is starting up right here, so you can see... I am Jano, who's like this wind mage character, and Hugh is playing as a Mumu, the sad mummy. As you can see, we don't have our normal usernames in here. Hugh is Tony the Tiger, and I'm Ensafet because my full name was taken for whatever reason. So I'm trying to show the 3 lanes here. The way this game works is that you have 3 different lanes, and I wish I wasn't scooting around so much right now. But you have this nexus here, and that's what you're trying to defend and kill the other person's nexus. There are 3 lanes, minions spawn into each lane, and the minions will go and fight each other, and your job is to go in, help the minions out, and try to force your way down the line. You see a turret here that we're standing by. That's a big defensive structure that does massive damage early on in the game. It becomes more manageable later on, but it hurts early game, so it keeps you from just charging in right in the beginning. And we do have an enemy hero here named Olaf. We almost got a kill here, got him so close to dead, but then he did manage to get in the range of his turret, so we were forced to fall off of that.
Yeah, so, I mean, that is pretty... You don't see that very often. Usually the heroes are going to run by then. And we do have this Tarek character, and unfortunately I completely... mess up my bandage toss there, so that was unfortunate, and I take a ton of damage.
Yeah, I believe you actually might die here, if I remember correctly.
I don't die right here. I die very shortly.
Okay, so as you can see, Hugh got in the range of the turret, it started shooting at Tarek, and he decided that it would be better to get out of there. Hugh, unfortunately, is on very low health at this point, so it's going to be a bit of a problem for him. And I will kind of describe our 2 characters as best I can right now. Hugh is really a tanking character. He is good at just eating the damage in team fights, whereas my character is more of a support character. She's really not that good on her own, but she has a lot of nice shields and heals and stuns and all sorts of things to help her allies out. So you'll notice a little kills, deaths, and assists tab in the top right corner. I normally end up going something like 3 kills, 3 deaths, 25 assists. I get a lot of assists on this character, and right there is where we see Hugh die, so not a good way to start the game by any means.
Yeah, I am not a fan of Olaf or Tarek, actually, for that matter, because they do so much damage, and...
Yeah, Olaf can literally 2-shot me later on in the game, and I believe I actually go down here... No? Do I? Okay, I get back in the range of the turret that time. This is a very back and forth game, and we really do not have a strong start at all, so we're normally better than this, I promise. Just give us a break.
Don't judge. We didn't do too hot at the beginning here. It was slightly unfortunate. I mean, but what are you going to do?
You will also notice that at the bottom you can see 4 spells, 3 of which are grayed out because I haven't gotten them yet, and then 2 more spells that are currently on cooldown, and then a third thing that says B. The 4 spells are spells you get as you level up within the game. You can see me getting experience. They're already level 2. We're still at level 1 here. So you can take a new ability or new level in each ability at each level that you get. And you have 3 abilities and then an ultimate, which comes at level 6 and is much more powerful than your basic spells. You also have 2 summoner abilities because you do have kind of a progressive summoner character. So you do actually get experience and earn points that you can use to buy stuff in the game as you go on. So you get the 2 summoner abilities and you get better abilities at higher levels. I have heal, which is just a heal to everybody around me, and flash, which lets me teleport a short distance, so that can be useful. Summoner abilities normally do have longer cooldowns, but yeah, that's the way they are, I guess. And then the B thing is basically teleports you back to base. You respawn your health and mana at a really high rate when you're in the base, so if you've taken a lot of damage, it's good to go back there to heal up a little bit. It does have an 8-second cast time, so you can't use it to run from combat or something like that, but it's if you like barely make it out of a battle and you're pretty weak, it's a good thing to do that so that you don't get killed next time you see an enemy.
Right, so here at the bottom we do see one of the characters in our team. He's coming up and it's called ganking. It's where we're going to go as a team and we're going to try and kill the enemy team here by adding another character to our lane. Yeah. So here we go. I'm taking a ton of damage, but I mean, I'm a tank. That's what I'm meant to do. And we do kill one of them, so we're getting back for that early loss. And unfortunately, that second player does get away. So we do kill one there.
Yeah, and you will notice that Yi was very careful. He came up from the middle and kind of snuck around behind the opponents so that they didn't have as much of a chance to run. It was a stealth attack. I quote Total Biscuit, who did a video on this once, when he said, if you're playing the game honorably, you're doing it wrong, which is very true. You really need to do whatever you can to get an advantage on your opponent. And so that if that means adding an extra person and taking your opponent's 3-on-2 and jumping out of nowhere for these stealth attacks, that's what you're going to do. You really need to just take any window of opportunity you can find to try to get a leg up on your opponent.
Right, so here he has respawn now. Beginning game, the respawn times are pretty short. I mean, I think if you die beginning of the game, it's like maybe 15 seconds or something. It's not too bad. And as you can see, that tower does extreme amount of damage to minions and heroes. So you just really want to be careful early game. The way the aggro system works on that is if... I'll come back to that, I guess, as I'm probably going to die.
Yeah, I believe you do go down once again. So as you can see, Tarek did exactly what Master Yi did earlier, kind of snuck up from the side to try to come out of nowhere and get the kill. And do you actually live here? Wow, I thought you died there. Okay.
Yeah, so as you saw, I did come up from the side, tried to cut us off from our turret. And at this level, really, they're not going to be turret diving, which is another... term. I guess we're gonna bombard you with terms here.
There's a lot of terminology in this game. Oh, I die here because no. Okay, I guess we both live, huh? We die a lot, so I'm having a hard time remembering exactly when we do and don't die.
Yeah. So I mean, there's not a ton we can do against these two champions. I mean, they're just gonna take some free shots on our turret, and NS is able to push them back pretty nicely.
Yeah, one thing that you can do when people are attacking your turret, if you directly attack them, they can't retaliate because, as Hugh mentioned earlier, if they try to attack you, the turret will immediately aggro onto them, and that's really painful for them at this level. So if you see somebody attacking your turret and your turret still is at decent health, if you just start attacking the enemy champion, that can generally force them to fall back a little bit.
Right. So the way the experience system works in this game is if there's another person in your lane, you actually do, you take less damage. Yeah, you get more experience. Sorry, I was getting a little off topic there. And as you can see, they split the damage very nicely there between the two heroes on the other team. And I nuff up a bandage shot there, and he gets away. So if I had landed that or waited a little longer, he did kind of double take on me there, so I was unable to. And the middle lane character was going to come over and try and assist, but I get out of there before that can happen.
One thing you're seeing right now is the shop. You do get gold whenever you last hit a minion, and you also just passively get gold, I think, like whenever somebody on your teammate kills a minion or something like that, but it's not nearly as much, so it is a huge benefit to be last hitting the minions yourself to get the gold. And you can use the gold to buy various items that give you all sorts of different buffs. It's a very important part of the game. If you don't have good items, you're not going to do well. And we've seen some cases where a character becomes more or less invincible through incredibly good item choice.
Yeah, definitely. Items are a huge part of this game. Definitely got to be watching what the enemy players are getting and try and counter that with your items to be most effective.
Yeah, and also just trying to counter enemy champions. A lot of things have something passive like, I'm going to pull out an example here. There's a character named Dr. Mundo who has an ultimate that lets him get mad hit point regeneration, but there's an item called Executioner's Calling, I believe, that lets you split your enemy's health point regeneration in half. So if you're going up against a Dr. Mundo, it's good to get one of those so that you can cut his health point reduction. Right here, Olaf gets a little greedy for that kill. He does get the kill off on Hugh, and dies to the turret in the process, and then Tarek almost dies. He barely gets away, and Master Yi comes up to try to cut him off. By the time we finally get there, he is already long gone.
But actually, I think this is yeah. He shows himself again up at top,
Yeah,
which is don't know exactly why he stuck around. I think because he had the heal, he decided it would be a good idea. So he's running up top, and I think he's gonna just try and pour it out of there, but it's not happening. And is he gonna take it?
I thought he managed to
I
get
think
away
he actually
here.
gets away anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
Some kind of. Oh, he stuns Master Yi and then manages to get away. You miss with the bandage toss there. Bandage toss, we should actually say what that does because we're going to be seeing a lot of it. Basically, Amumu throws a bandage, and if it hits another person, he then pulls himself to that person and stuns them. So it is really useful when trying to chase somebody down, because it can, first of all, let you quickly dash the distance to catch up with them, and second of all, stun them for a moment, so you can get some free hits in. If you have other teammates chasing them too, those guys can catch up to them. It's a very useful ability in chases.
Yep. It is something called a skill shot, so you have to be, good with it and do a good amount of damage to actually. You have to actually hit with it to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, there are two kinds of shots. The skill shots where you actually have to aim it. Like when you go to use it, there's a arrow. And does he die here? Oh no, he doesn't. Anyway, you have to aim the shot and where you want it to go. And then there's another type where you just select the ability you want to use, click on the hero, and your character will take care of the rest, and it will basically track the hero wherever they go. So the skill shots are kind of a more risk-reward thing. They're generally better if they hit, but they're harder to aim.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, as you can see, we're not starting off very well here. We've died multiple times. If you look at the top right-hand corner, below the top bar, there's a little sword with 2 numbers next to it. The green one is the amount of kills that your team has, and the red one is the number of kills that the opponent's team has. So right now